Chapter 5. Desire and Self-Culture. From the series titled Mind, What Is It? By Wallace Wattles. Whether you are young or old, let us now suppose that your brain is plastic enough to receive new impressions, and that there is some definite thing in the way of self-culture that you wish to accomplish. Fix clearly in your mind, first, that it is going to be wholly a matter of whether you succeed or not, and be sure you fully understand the difference between willing to do and wanting to do. One man may glance at the heading of this article and say, "I want to read that," and pass on without reading it. Another sees it and says, "I will read that," and he reads it. "I want to" does not mold the brain. "I will" does. If you ever get to be what you want to be, you will have to will to be what you want to be. Let us suppose again that what you wish to attain is something in the line of health. You, the soul, the mind, the real personality, wish to build a perfectly healthy body, and you can only do it through the brain, for that is your medium of communication with the body. There are records in the brain which compel you to express ill health, just as a crooked ruler compels you to make a crooked mark. You will have to quit expressing yourself through these records and make another, which shall express health. Not the desire of health, but the assertion of health. Understand, it will do no good to write upon your brain the thought that you want to be well. You have not written there now the thought that you want to be sick, but the thought that you are sick, and that thought is finding expression in your body. Write now the thought that you are well, and that thought will find physical expression. And you do not have to imagine anything to be true which is not true, or to make any false assertions. You, the intelligence, the mind, are really well. You are making a crooked mark because you are using a crooked stick. You can turn the crank, all right, but the phonograph will only say the words that are on the record. You will have to make a record which has on it the words you want the machine to say. Now, it is absolutely certain that you can do this, but it is pretty sure to take some time and a considerable effort of will. Instances are by no means rare where a brain record has been created in a flash and an instantaneous cure effected. But in the great majority of cases, it is like learning a new language, or like a child learning his first one, a work requiring wearisome effort and repetition. And whether the task is easy or hard depends mostly on desire. It is easier to use the will and concentration or assertion when desire is strong. And that is where heredity gets in its work on you. Desire is hereditary, but capability is not. One man, by heredity, may have a liking for a particular food, but all men, by nature, have the power to masticate and swallow that food. You may say of yourself, "I cannot learn to play the piano. I have no musical talent." You have as much musical talent as anyone ever had, but your desire is not strong enough to induce you to put forth the effort necessary to train your muscles, or rather, to create a brain place for each muscular movement. Oh, I know. You say you want to play the piano as badly as anyone ever did, and I admit it. You want to produce sweet and harmonious sounds, but you do not want mechanical excellence badly enough to concentrate your mind on your fingers. And you will have to make a brain place for each finger movement before you can play, and use that brain place until its control of the muscles is habitual and automatic. You sit at the piano desiring music, but not finger skill. That is why you have no musical talent. You do not learn music because there is a kink in your desire, and you do not control your attention. It takes will and attention to mold a brain. Let me make this plain by another illustration. People say to me, "I have no memory for names." If I am introduced to a person, I can remember his face very well, but if I meet him on the street the next day, I invariably find that I have forgotten his name. You never heard his name. You could not have told it 2 minutes after you were introduced to him. You looked at his face and thought of his face, and gave all your attention to his face, none to his name. You remember the things you give attention to. You learn the things you give attention to, provided that attention is constant and concentrated enough to make the necessary brain impression. And, given a brain in a normal condition of plasticity, if there is anything which anyone else has learned, or can learn, it is an absolute certainty that you can learn that thing if you can give your attention to it. And if there is anything that anybody else has been, or can be, it is absolutely certain that you can be that thing if you can give your attention to it for a sufficient time. We shall soon be able to make self-culture a process of mathematical exactness. If you wish to learn a thing, we know exactly what you have to do. You must give your attention to it until it is inscribed upon its own brain place. If you wish to learn to do a thing, you must give your attention to it until the method of doing it is written on its own brain place, and until the necessary muscles are brought under control. If you wish to be a thing, you must write upon the proper brain place the assertion that you are that thing, and then express yourself through that brain place. You will see how logical and natural all this makes the new thought propositions. It gives us a physical basis for reasoning to the metaphysical. It proves that mind forms brain, and that brain cannot produce mind. It proves that personality is greater than brain, and can give expression through brain to whatsoever it will. It proves that personality is sufficiently independent of brain to be able to mold and fashion brain as a potter fashions clay, and gives us ground for the inference that personality may exist apart from brain, and after brain is no more. And it is all perfectly logical, reaching its conclusions by reasoning from effect to cause, and without a flaw in its deductions or its manner of making them. It gives us a physical ground for faith in the soul's power of accomplishment. And this is a great thing. For without faith there can be no real effort, no concentration, no controlling of the attention. The will is never really exerted without faith. When, therefore, we have explained in detail the physical mechanism through which mind expresses itself, and when we have described the process of attainment in such simple words that he who runs may read and understand, when we have given a mathematical demonstration of the fact that it is possible for each to do and be all that any may do and be, have we not made faith easy and contributed something of value to the world's life? I think we have. End of chapter.